Welcome back to Merch Shop Audit. And today we got a great one with Justin Bieber's merch shop. Now, if you watched our Coachella video and our merch shop audit of them, we learned that Justin Bieber did $15 million of merch sales. Obviously, all of that was probably at Coachella itself, but the merch shop is good because it continues to work for you 24/7, and hopefully we'll be able to still collect some of those sales even after they weren't able to get it at Coachella, or people that didn't have a chance to go to Coachella, maybe they were still able to purchase some of his Coachella merch. So let's take a look at this. As you know, these are complete. I haven't even looked at his site. So again, let's look at his subdomain is going to be shop. So as you know, I like to use shop instead of the word store for your subdomain. You can use either, but shop is just a little bit more shopping friendly, right? And so if you can and you haven't done it yet, use shop instead of store. It's up to you, but that's my suggestion. All right, so as soon as you log in, as soon as you log onto the website, you're immediately hit with a email sign up list. Again, same thing like the Sabrina Carpenter one. They segment their email list, which is good. And so it's email, the country you're in, and which email list do you want to be a part of, right? Do you want to be on Justin Bieber, which most people that are visiting a store probably do, but Def Jam and Universal Music Group, they said, who probably run the store, they're probably like, well, hey, we know all these people that are Justin Bieber fans, but maybe they'll want to learn a little bit more about us too and get on our email list. So props to them, take it how you can get it. If a lot of people come in and learn more about your company through Justin Bieber, so be it, right? And so that's segmented list. I'll just click I understand for now. So this one is more of, I like that he starts out with his out. So this kind of shows where his main focus is. It's going to be on selling albums, which should be, right? He's an artist. He's a musician and singer. So that's where the majority, I'm sure, of his sales comes from. And so that's no issue with there. I like that. Obviously it's kind of like a pinkish lavender color on his background. And so that is something, but let's take a look at the merch. So his collections again are just basically groupings of products, individual products. So t-shirts is a collections, hoodies is a collections, 2026 is a collection, Coachella merch would be a collection if he has that. But let's take a look at his collection list here. So he has all apparel, crew necks and hoodies, shirts, bottoms, and accessories. Let's take a look at accessories first, because I just remember doing this in Coachella. If you're running your own online store, my suggestion to you, is you can take it or not, is to outline hats differently as its own collection, or at least label it hats and accessories, because a lot of people are looking for hats, and if you don't spell it out where it is, then they may just skip over it and not know to look at the accessories. Most people do, but again, just a little, make it super, super simple for them to find what they're looking for. So he has hats here, he has posters and whatnot. We'll come back to this, but I just wanted to see, because that's what a big thing with Coachella was. So he puts crew necks and hoodies first. So obviously you want to try and sell those. All right. So let's look at this one. The Peaches hoodie. It's going to be a black. It ships on May 6th, which is in 3 days. The product is only available in the United States. Screen printed front and the back graphics. Okay. So, yeah, I think this is a pretty cool hoodie. This is very simple. White color front. $75. He offers small through doubles. I think it's a little pricey. But, again, this is where he can command those prices, right? Because he's built up his brand. And so I do like to have related merch here, basically cross sells. So you can pair it with the Peaches hat, the Peaches t-shirt, and the AdMat long sleeve. And so that's good job there to do cross sales on there. Tour exclusive. This is going to be a crew neck. Let's see here. Yeah, screen printed. This is going to be very, very simple. So he prints it really low, which is fine. That's probably the way they designed it. But normally on crew necks or shirts, it's 3 fingers down on the front, 4 fingers in the back. But this one he wanted probably a little lower on the print, which is kind of cool. It's different, right? So it's a tour exclusive. $65. That's a little expensive for a basic white print. Kind of easy, but again, this is why what helped him probably get to 50 million is his brand carries a lot of weight, and that's what merch is, right? It's an expression. So if you like Justin Bieber, you went to Coachella, you're feeling the vibes, you're buying his merch, and so that's how it is. They all only offer small through XL. Small sold out. Again, this was a tour exclusive. XL sold out, so they only have medium and larges left. So again, this is based on what he sold. He's doing the same thing as Coachella did. He is screen printing it in bulk, taking it to the concert. Right, you have to do that if you're at location somewhere. If you have a pop-up shop, or if you're at a concert, you have to screen print it and just take everything with you. And so he screen printed these. Judging by 15 million, he probably screen printed. I don't know how many items he has, but 3,000 to 5,000 pieces. Yeah, maybe 2,000 to 4,000 pieces. I don't know. It's quite a bit, and so it's maybe 2,500 pieces he would do. That's reasonable. That's reasonable for someone of this caliber. There's a lot of these are sold out, which is great, right? Ghost, Bieber, I'm sure maybe that's a phrase or song of his, I'm not sure, but these are all sold out, and this is the crew neck hoodies. So wow, he sold out a lot of them. And again, I don't know how long this has been there, but it's good to kind of have this out there for a little bit, right? For a little bit to show that, yeah, this is the FOMO, right? It's like if you don't get yours, look at all these other ones that sold out. If you don't get what's available, you're going to miss it, and because this one's going to sell out too, right? And so it's kind of like they're doing social proof there, which is good to a degree. They have a bunch of different sold out ones, so that's good. It looks like they only have 3 available that haven't been sold out, which is nice. That's a good number to have, 3. So let's look at shirts. Doesn't seem like he does in terms. He must have taken more to the actual Coachella, which I was surprised they didn't do a collaboration with him and Coachella. But that was probably because of they couldn't come to an agreement on revenue splits and things like that, or designs. But let's see the shirts. Let's take a look at this first one here. So. Again, I'm not sure if he took these to Coachella or not. I don't know because Peaches, I think, is a little older album. But the mediums and XLs have sold out. Usually when items sell out, usually it's the sizing of sold out items are consecutive, right? So small, medium, large XLs. But he sold out a medium and XLs here, so what may have happened is maybe he probably sold out of mediums. Normally with artists, we find that they do, with whoever, they know that who their audience is, who comes to the concerts, who buys the merch. So it's usually probably going to be a little bit more skinnier people or petite people. So it's going to be small, medium, larges. And a lot of times what they'll do is they'll order a little less XLs and then even a little less doubles. So just for easy numbers, he may do 1,000 small, 1,000 medium, 1,000 large, 750, 800 XLs, and then maybe 500 doubles, right? maybe not a lot of bigger people that wear doubles go to his stuff and buy his merch. And so usually they will order a little less in larger quantities. I don't know if that's the case here, but it's just kind of odd that he sold out of medium and XLs. I can see why he sold out of mediums. XLs makes me lead to believe that he either ordered less or everyone that was a larger XL just wanted to get an XL. The people that wear large, maybe they want a little bit of a more looser fit. And the XLs is a popular size as well. So, I don't know, but that is good that he sold out. And again, he's using kind of the same thing here. He has a little bit more shirts available than the hoodies. So if I were him, I'd actually focus more on hoodies. Hoodies are great too because it's the price point is higher, right? The average order value is going to be higher. And so, hoodies are a great option. The margins are also a little bit better usually depending on how you price it. But listen, $35 for this shirt, not bad. Even though the back may be blank, I still like to show the back and what it looks like, just so that whoever's buying it knows that it's blank on the back and not there's they don't buy it and there's nothing on the back. Although they do say here screen printed front graphics, but again, it doesn't say screen printed front graphics with right sleeve. But obviously you can see it in the picture here. So Bieber's Peaches. This is a crop tee. Let's look at their size guide here. So they only offer small through doubles. It's always good to include a size guide. Obviously, you want whoever's purchasing it to know that it's going to be, what the sizes are, so they can compare what they're wearing, so that they know what the fit will be. $40 for this. I say that's a little high. It's actually not too bad, but again, this is where Justin Bieber's brand can command higher prices. And again, here he has related merch, which is good, all related to Peaches, and he has another crop top in case you didn't want black, you wanted orange. Here's one, a white tank, crop tank, and then sweatpants. Let's take a look at the sweatpants here. So this is all screen printed on the front. I'm surprised they didn't do anything on the back, but $75, that's a little high. It's hard to tell too what brand this is, looking from the picture. And the other thing too is there's really no description of what of the garment itself. And so there's really no description. I don't know who's running the store, but they should probably put a little description on there of what it is, if anything, just to have that there, right? It's just, I don't know if they're skating on the fact that it's Justin Bieber and people are going to buy it regardless. That's probably what it is, I'd assume. But still, I would still have a description there. It adds a nice touch to the store, just to say, hey, this is the JB Farms logo with this, and this is a little bit more about the item itself and the specs of whatnot. Because I don't even know, is this, it's going to be, I don't know what the blends are, right? Is it cotton? Is it poly? Is it a blend? Limit to 4 per customer, right? So they're putting a limit on this Peaches white crop tank. They have the size guide here. They don't say the way it's decorated. So it's very, well, they only have XLs left anyway. This is very minimal for a store. And again, I assume that they're just skating on the fact that if you love Justin Bieber and you want his merch, buy it, right? That's kind of the mentality from what it seems like. I don't need to include anything about the description. I don't need to include anything about what the garment is made out of. Either you buy it or you don't. Either you like it or you don't, right? And just for curiosity, let's take a look at their refund policy, help and support. Okay, orders, returns. How long would it take for me to get a refund on my return? So when will I be charged for pre-order? He offers pre-orders, which is good. Pre-orders, again, are good because you're not guessing, right? If you saw that there was a lot, remember that one item they were sold out of medium and XLs? Well, with pre-orders, you don't have to worry about that because you run the campaign for a certain amount of time and you say it closes on this date. And once it closes, you know exactly what to print because you know exactly what was ordered. And the only other issue with that you have to worry about is sometimes people get the wrong size. And so you have to deal with customer service issues in terms of maybe they ordered a medium, but they wanted a large. And so they're like, well, I don't like this. I want the bigger size. And so you have to worry about, that's the only thing you have to worry about with in terms of pre-orders. But let's just see the returns. How long will it take to get a refund? 3 to 5 business days for your item to be processed. Refunds typically take 2 to 3 business days to appear in your account. Credited back. It doesn't say what the refund policy is, though, in terms of the days. Will you accept returns of product in any condition? Items must return in their original condition. That's obviously and the packaging, so you don't wear it and then return it. It cannot be washed, worn, or used or altered. Okay, that's pretty standard. Who pays for my return? Free return labels will be removed, right? So, free will be provided, right? So, if you live in the U.S., they pay for your returns, and that's something you're gonna have to figure out when you have your online store. Is again not for employee online stores if you run a business and your employees are buying, but more so for client facing stores, right? B2C. Who pays for the returns, right? You send someone buys something, they get it. They don't like it for some reason and they want to return. Who handles the customer service and how are the returns handled? Do you want the item back? Most times you do. Who pays for that? Do you credit back the original? If you offer free shipping to your client for any orders, do you minus the free shipping back? Or is it free shipping there and back, right? And how long? This is one thing that this return policy doesn't say is how long do they have to return it? It doesn't say you have 14 days, 30 days, 60 days. Here. How long? They should have put this at the front. How long after my order can I submit a return request? 30 days. Okay, usually this is at the top. They buried it on the bottom. I don't know why, or towards the bottom, but that's the way they designed it. It looks like they may have done this backwards. So what happens when you're designing websites is sometimes what happens is when you put let's just say you have 5 things, right? Let's take this return policy. The first thing that someone's going to ask is, how do I return my order for a refund, right? And so what they did is they may have put that in first on the website, entered in first. Then on the second item, they did, how long after my return can I submit a return request, right? And then they did 3, 4, and 5. Well, the problem is when you put that on a website, sometimes the website will go descending, right? They'll put the latest one first and then they'll go down. So the last question you input onto your website is usually the first one that comes up and shows up. And so what you need to do is you need to make sure that you think through this. And if you can't, most websites now you can easily edit the order of the items real easily by dragging and dropping. Most website platforms you can do that, but that's something you need to be aware of because it looks like they did this backwards. How do I return my order for a refund? And how long after my order can I return it? That should have been first. And then it goes to how long will it take me to get a refund and return it? That's usually the last thing, right? Most times you want to know how long will it take? How long do I have to return it if I don't like it or if there's something wrong? And then, it goes through, and then eventually it's, how long will it take for me to get my money back? And so that's something where they probably, if I had to guess, they entered it in the correct order, but the website put it as the oldest one, or the newest one is on top, and it goes down to the oldest one, which is the first one they entered, which is the first one that should appear here. So they just need to go in there and reorder it. Again, I don't think that's really top of mind for them, because again, it's if you like Justin Bieber, you get it. If you don't like it, you don't get it. Which I'm not saying that's what it is. So don't say that I'm that's what I'm saying he did here, or whoever's running the store did, right? Not Justin Bieber himself, but whoever's manager is, or whoever the apparel company is. That's maybe, I'm not saying that's what they're doing. It's just, that's what it looks like to me, from running our own stores, running fulfillment for our online clients, and just doing these merch shop audits. This is what I'm seeing. This is kind of my first impressions of it. And so he can get away with it. If Justin Bieber can get away with it, I'm not sure if you can. So if you are running your own online store, whether you're a business, a restaurant, nightclub, you have your own clothing brand, if you're not Justin Bieber, I'd put a little bit more effort into your store and how you present things. Okay, so let's look at bottoms here. Let's go with the first one, changes sweatpants. It's a nice design, right? On the bottom, little white. I don't know if that's a gray, maybe a cool gray 7C, 8C. Oh, I like cool gray 7, 8C, by the way. I think that's a nice color to print. They have, so they smalled out of small through XLs. All they have is doubles left. And again, it's screen printed front graphics. The other thing too is it's they don't really zoom in, right? I zoomed in as much as I could, and you can't even really read what it says here. Maybe you can, I don't know. I can't read it. And so, you really don't know. This is a good thing to put in the description on what the actual print says, right? It says screen printed front graphics. You could also put, what they're actually saying in quotation marks on the front so that people know what it says. So this is a this is a minimalist store, right? Minimal. They did the very minimum, which is maybe they don't. And again, this ties back to when we first logged into the website. He puts his records on first. So maybe merch is probably going to be his fourth or fifth line of importance in terms of revenue streams, right? Obviously, his music's going to be number one. Ticket sales, concerts, all that stuff are going to take priority. And then merch is either going to be at the venues itself. So maybe he's more concentrated on the venues itself whenever he's performing, which is always going to be ideal. But I wish he would put a little bit more effort into his online store, online merch store. Just simple things like putting what it says on the front and whatnot. Let's go back, take a look at another one. Okay, so all sales final are not eligible for return, refund, or exchange. So that's a good thing to do. They obviously want to make sure that they can click it so that you have an acknowledgement as the store owner. You have an acknowledgement of that they click this to accept that term, and it's more in your favor in terms of if they try and dispute it with their credit card. All right, screen printed front graphics. So Justin Bieber here, and Anvone, anyone. So this is where. On the back would be good too. I don't know if they just did this as a not so great Photoshop job, but only the Y would really show up on the back, or the A too. But again, that's why I like to always put the front and the back. And I know I talk about this a lot, but this is where the disconnect comes in a lot of times for the act from the who does the online graphics for the store and who actually prints them. Because the people that do the online graphics for the store don't necessarily know all the details that goes into printing it. And so they don't really know where the print goes. They don't know what it looks like and whatnot. And so sometimes there's a disconnect there. I'm not saying that's here, but sometimes there's a disconnect in terms of that. So it's always good. Related merch, long sleeve, sweatpant, and then a 12-inch single. So that's good. He includes that here. Let's take a look at this long sleeve. Okay, $60. Again, I assume it's 100% cotton. I mean, it looks like a cotton shirt, but it'd be good to know that. They don't include any care instructions here. So, it's hard to tell what it is without it. So is it a cotton shirt? It's not polyester. I mean, I know that, but could it be a blended? Probably not. I mean, I'm sure it's a cotton shirt, but the layperson may not know that it's a cotton shirt, right? So you may get it. You may be like, well, I don't like it. That's why you have 30 days to return it. But in order to minimize the returns, right? Speaking from Justin Bieber's point of view, and again, not Justin Bieber himself, but whoever's running his merch store, you want to try and minimize the amount of returns that you get, especially since they're paying for the shipping back. Paying for the shipping back is not an issue because, especially if you deal high in volume, because you get great rates. So it's not that much to, get it shipped back to you. But why deal with it if you don't have to, right? Why not put all the information out on your store? This is the material. This is what it says. This is the printed, thing. This is what it's related to. This is part of the, I don't know. The last one had a record album, so I'm pretty sure it was related to that record, right? And so why not put it, all the fans of Justin Bieber probably know this already, but to someone, just speaking in generalities here, why not put all that on the store or on the item description itself so that you can minimize the amount of returns that you potentially going to get? Because again, maybe he doesn't care. Obviously, it's not going to affect his, paying for the return back. It's not much, but it adds up, right? And you could completely avoid that sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, by just including a lot of this information. Because I don't even really see a size chart. There's really no size chart. So how do I know if this runs big, if this runs small? I don't really see. Yeah, there's no sizing information here. Maybe it's under help and support. Let's take a look. Orders. Can I cancel? When my account be charged? Shipping. All standard stuff here. Let's look at size chart. So when I click on size in the search box, okay, well, let's take a look at this. First of all, there's nothing about the size guide, which I think he should include. But let's take a look at this. Can I get a different size or color than that is offered through the store? If a size, color, or other variant doesn't appear online, it is not currently available for purchase. Okay. So that's something that you need to think of as well. Us as the printers, our policy is a little different. And so the design is the design. If you're doing fulfillment through POD, color really doesn't matter to us. And so to get the sale, a lot of times we offer for our clothing brands or our fulfillment part, the people we do fulfillment for and our own clothing brands, we let the customer, if they want it in a different color, we give them that option. That's something that you have to, but we can do that because we print it ourselves, right? We're the printers too. So we can do that because, if you're running your own online store, we're not doing the fulfillment. You need to work with your printer and see if you can do that in different colors, because that's something that you need to think about in terms of not missing any sales. Maybe you don't want any extra sales it is what it is. And if you don't like it, then you don't get it, right? That's one way to look at it. But if you are anyone but Justin Bieber, maybe you want to think about offering the design in a different color, or having that option at least available to your clients or your customers, if you want that. And so I think this store is lacking a little bit in terms of just adding the basics. What's the material made out of? They put the way it's decorated, which is good. It's screen printed, right? So that's good. The back graphics, okay. World tour. So I'm sure what he does is, if this is a world tour shirt with all the dates and whatnot and the locations, this is probably something that he offers, that he takes with him to his concerts. I'd assume so. Again, I haven't been to one, so I don't know, but I'm sure this is probably something that he does. So it seems like his online merch store is more of just a kind of thing like, hey, if you don't go to my concerts, or you went to my concert and something was sold out at the concert itself and you want to get one, see if it's available on the online store. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. And you had a chance to look at it while you were there. You got to touch it, feel it, see it was cotton. And, maybe it's available on the online store, maybe it's not. And so that's kind of the vibe I'm feeling with this in terms of his merch offerings. Let's look at All Apparel. Okay, so shorts. Now this is something, well, I guess it would be considered under bottoms. Yeah, here it is. So let's go back to All Apparel. Let's look at these shorts since we're here. The only size available is going to be XL. Screen printed graphic on, so here he puts it. Screen printed graphic, 100% cotton PE shorts with foldable elastic waistband. Perfect. Limit for the customer, right? So that's perfect. That's exactly what you should be putting on there, right? What's it made out of? The type, it's a PE short, right? What kind of waistband is it? It's a foldable elastic waistband. And so that's great. I don't know why he just didn't do that on all his products. Let's see, Peaches shirt. This is a good thing. Like I said, the related merch is a great offering as well. So get those cross sells in, people, and start cross promoting. Let's look at some of the accessories he's offering besides the hat. So he's doing a hat. Let's look at the hat. Sold out. Screen printed graphic, $30. That's a good price for a hat. It doesn't really say. I'd assume this is a snapback hat. Well, it's a trucker hat. Yeah, so a snapback hat. Printed graphic on the front, $30. That's a good deal, right? That's a good price for a hat. Most times hats will be $35, sometimes even $45, right? Depending on the hat itself. If it's a trucker hat or if it's more of a like a new era type style hat. Baseball cap. Posters, $15. We do some posters. We do some collateral materials. So, that's a good price. Shipping is going to be cheap on that too. Speaking of which, let's look at how much shipping is. Let's try and add one just for fun. This is a 24 by 36. So here we go. Would you like to add swag 2LP to your cart? Which this is good and bad. So if you look at it, he's offering this, right, as an upsell. Would you like to add this to your cart since you're already getting this poster, right? And it's related. The problem is it's sold out. It's sold out. So while the upsell is good, the fact that it's sold out is not good. So either at this point, you can either try and upsell a different item, right? Maybe either a merch item or a shirt item, or maybe a different album, which I know is kind of tough because if you're getting a Peaches poster, you probably most likely wanted the album that's related to that. But, this is kind of, it's not an oversight, but this is something where these little details to me matter, right? Maybe it doesn't matter to him. Maybe it doesn't matter to whoever's running the store. But for you And for the brands that we do and we do fulfillment for, this matters to me. And so I would definitely change this. But let's take a look at it in terms of shipping. I like the cart, right? He keeps the same background color on the cart checkout page. Email address, which is good. Make sure you capture people's email, obviously. Not only for giving them tracking information and communication, but also, I love that it's pre-checked, right? Signed to receive email newsletters or updates from Justin Bieber, which is smart. Okay, so let's take a look at shipping calculator, the next step. So let's take a look. Let's put in 89101, which is the zip code of the shop here. No. Normally it'll autofill. Okay, well, I'm not going to put in the information, but let's take a look at this. What does it say? Okay, so shipping, we cannot change any information on an existing order. Smart, right? That's sales tax will be applied. Tax is calculated based on the applicable sales tax and use tax laws within each state, right? Nexus, yep. So make sure that you are applying the right sales tax. If you're selling to someone out of the state that you're in, or again, I'm not an attorney, so don't quote me on this, but work with your attorney to make sure that you are collecting the correct amount of sales tax for your order based on, usually it's based on where it's being shipped to. So again, I'm not an attorney. Don't quote me on that. That's just kind of what we've seen. Let's see. Doesn't say anything about prices here. So if your item has been damaged, I don't know why they didn't put this on the help page. Okay, so here's something. In their return policy, it says we are only able to process a return or exchange request within 45 days from the date you receive your order. Okay, 45 days. But if you look on the help, it says for returns, I believe it said 30 days. Yeah, return request must be within 30 days of your order being delivered. So, again, inconsistencies, right? This is something you need to watch out for. And I don't know why they wouldn't put this more. This is all the information that we need, but it's not in the help section. And then digital music purchases and whatnot. I don't really know anything about that, but let's see. Yeah. Well, I don't know about what their shipping cost is. A lot of times, if they say continue to the next step, you'll have to pay for shipping. Although sometimes you don't, right? And like I said before, if you can offer free shipping to your clients, I think that's a great thing. It's almost becoming kind of a standard now. People don't like to pay for shipping. I surely don't like to pay for shipping when I get things. So if you can include that free shipping into your retail D2C brand, then I would do it. Obviously, if you're doing wholesale or if you're doing manufacturing, like for us, we have to charge shipping, because if someone's ordering, 1,000 shirts or 1,000 hoodies, even worse, we can't absorb the shipping costs on that. So, of course, if they order 1,000, we'd offer free shipping anyway because it's over a certain dollar amount. But for any retail B2C, D2C brand, if you can include free shipping into your offer, I think that's a good thing. Again, this is where you have to work on your returns, though. Your returns, do you want to offer free shipping back? Or like we saw with Coachella, what they did is they offered free shipping to you, but if you wanted to return something, they gave you a refund, except for the $11 and whatever, 45, 50 cents, whatever it was, for the shipping to you. And so that's something that you can offer as well. And that's probably, now that I think of it, that's probably $6 to ship to you and then $6 to ship it back. And so that's reasonable, especially if you have a large volume account at USPS or UPS. But Yeah, let's see here. So not really much in terms of merch, and so he's not really merch focused. And if he is merch focused, I'm sure he's taking most of his merch with him on tour, or maybe he has other collaborations with other retail stores where retail stores will carry his items or his merch line in them. I'm not familiar. I don't know. That's just something that could potentially be. But as far as his online merch store goes, this probably isn't going to be the best one to model your store after, unless your name is Justin Bieber. But if your name's not Justin Bieber, I think this is not going to be one that you should be looking at in terms of getting ideas from, or kind of not really copying. You never want to copy, but mimicking what he has here. Because the cross sells are good, right? He's cross selling on everything, which is awesome. He upsells on the add to merch cart, or add to a cart when you're checking out. That's a great thing. But even then, the item that was upselling was out of stock. And so either you change that, or I don't know, obviously he wants to try and get it back in stock would be ideal. But until then, either you change that to a different item because you still want to upsell while you can, or you take it off. I mean, again, it's just these little things start to add up to where it becomes a little, let's just see if there's any more. Oh, well, hold on. They didn't even. So collections here, I didn't even know this was merch. I thought collections here, I thought that would be like his albums, right? So. Yeah, so his albums and merch. So, again, this is a good thing that he does, though, or his store is doing, is he's doing collections, and collections will be, I'm sure his top thing, right? If you're looking at it as like a hub and spoke model for those in the marketing world, the hub is going to be his album and his music. And so from his music, the spoke will be, the spokes will be digital downloads or digital sales of the songs and whatnot, and then merch, and then accessories, and then other things as well, posters, collateral materials. Those will all be the spokes centered around the hub, which is going to be his album. And so I'm sure these collections, I think, looking at the peaches here, I think are part of his, are all centered around his albums, which is good. And so this is going to be all merch. Which is funny because I don't know why he wouldn't include, because under merch it says all items, all apparel. But I don't. Well, maybe there is. Maybe I missed it because I've this baddest bitch one I've seen. Let's look at his world tour. Oh, yeah, that was a world tour. What's this, Monster? Okay, yeah. So he's selling out. He's selling out of a lot of stuff. CD single, $3. It's not bad. Monsters Circle photo T-shirt. Let's take a look at this. So this is a final sale item. They only have large and doubles available. Looks like. Again, this is where, like I said, he probably screen printed it. A bunch of them took it to his concerts or whatever, and then they sold out of small, mediums, and XLs. And all they have left are large and doubles. And this is something you can avoid if you do pre-sale, if you do a pre-sale campaign, or you do print on demand. But for him, print on demand is not going to make any sense at all. What he's going to do is he's going to screen print a couple thousand of these items, each design, take it to all his concerts. As many concerts as he does, I don't know how many concerts he does, but as many as he does, he's printing a lot more than a couple thousand. And so his price point is going to be very, very good. He's going to get a discount on the apparel item itself because the more you buy of the apparel item for the manufacturer, the more the discount we can get. And then obviously setting up the press. Once you set it up once, it's going to be cheaper for us to print it, for the press to go around 10,000 times as it will be to go around 100 times. right? And so he's going to get a good price on printing as well. So screen printed front and back graphics, right? Okay. Looks good. Again, I would like to know what color this shirt is, because again, this is where it's, I understand this is a visual audience and your customers or your clients would be a little younger or whatnot, but at least, you know, you could at least include the color of the shirt. Like, is this a, it's not an off-white. If it is, it's a terrible Photoshop job. It's probably going to be like a, I don't even know, but it's going to be some kind of like a, I don't know if it's ash or whatnot. And then if it's ash, a lot of times ash is going to be a little bit of a blend. So it's not going to be 100% cotton. So again, this is where you need to, it'd be good for you. If you're out there watching this, make sure that you include the material of the shirt, a good sizing chart if you can, and you can get that from the manufacturer, and include a little bit more information, in my opinion. You know, this is very, very minimal. Let's look at this changes shirt. 3150. This is going to be a black t-shirt. Looks to be 100% cotton. So this is it's a decent price. It's a good price, $31.50. I mean, for a Justin Bieber shirt, it's very simple to print, and so it seems like he has all the sizes available. So I don't know. Yeah, he has all the sizes available. So I don't know if this is a new shirt or. It's very basic, though. It's very basic, though. I will say it's very basic. It's a screen print on the front, white ink, and a screen print on the back. Again, very simple. So this is what I was talking about earlier in terms of the 4-finger rule for the back. As you know, if you print on the back, lay the shirt down 4 fingers from the bottom of the collar, bottom of the collar, and that's where your print should start. And I said, unless it's a print like this, because this print is a little shorter in terms of maybe it's a 2.5, 3-inch print. Hard to tell. If it's a 2 to 3 inch print, yeah, it's going to go a little lower. And so the person that did this correctly. It could actually possibly even go a little lower than that, but that's a good placement for the shirt. So if you have a 2 to 3 inch tall design on the back of the shirt, make sure that they print it a little lower, and your printer will know that. But that's the exception to the 4-finger rule. This one, it's a little low for me. Again, it just depends. This one is fine actually. I mean, it's a smaller print. Don't forget on the front, it's 3 fingers from the bottom of the collar. But again, that's for, you know, full front design. Something like this, yeah, it can go a little lower. So this is good, and this is something where if you are designing your own online images, this is why this is important. I keep bringing this up, and if you watch my merch shop audits, you know that I keep bringing this up, and this is why, because there is sometimes a disconnect between who's doing the online images and who's doing the printing. And the reason why that's important is because a lot of times clothing brands will have a clause in their return policy that says if the item does not look like how it's represented, that's eligible for a return. And so you need to make sure that you're in collaboration with your printer to know where the item is going to be printed. Because if you're doing your own online store images and you put the print up here, but then when the person actually gets the item, the print is down here, or you're just going to be opposite. Usually if you on the online store, you put the print down here on the online store image, but then when they get it, the print is up here, then technically that would qualify for as an eligible return because it's not depicted correctly in the image. And so that's really getting very, very technical. I don't think Justin Bieber fans will really care, but again, why put yourself through the hassle if you don't have to? And so this is where it's good that you work with your printer. If you work with us and we do the fulfillment, we handle all this for you, so you don't have to worry about it. But if you have your own clothing brand and you're working with your own printer, then make sure you collaborate with him, find out where he's going to print, and just send him your mock-up and just say, hey, does this look kind of like where you're going to end up printing it? Because then he'll say yes or no, and then you can make the adjustments from there. So that's the reason why I keep harping on the online images and making sure that it's good. So again, collections. I like these collections. A lot of these are sold out. Good for him. That's good. $35 for this shirt. Okay, so in this one, this one you can see it's a little low. So again, on this kind of one, this is where I would put it 3 fingers below. So again, no one's gonna, first of all, 99% of people don't really care, don't even notice. So, but I noticed right away, but this is not, if he sold it and someone has an issue with it, then they're being really, really particular. And so I have no problem. It's a little low, but I don't have no problem with this because it's within the ballpark. I'm talking about if it's, completely out of place, then that's where you may run into issues. Okay, so all right. Obviously, has his socials down here. I like the consistency of the background, the color. I don't know if it changes from time to time, depending, or if this is just his favorite color, or this is what his brand color is in his brand Bible. But let's click on this and see. So yeah, again, this goes to the shop, and again, you can kind of see where. So this is his shop homepage, right? shop.justinbiebermusic.com. So I would, okay. The positive is I like that he's offering box sets, right? So box sets are good because you include, and this one includes a couple shirts, maybe an album and a CD or something, looks like. And you include multiple items into a box, and you can just sell it as one price, and that's good because it's usually that's a good margin product right there. What I don't like though is that it's the ones that he's offering is sold out, and maybe he. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't. I can't see the merch not being able to be refulfilled again, so it has to be probably due to his albums or the CD, but put something else on there. Can you create a different box set? I understand swag is probably one of their highest items right now. Let's see if Daisies, swag. So I'm sure that maybe that's one of his latest albums. I don't know. Swag. So okay, so I get it, right? He's promoting swag stuff, but can you, if you want to keep promoting your swag stuff and keep that on your homepage of your online store, can you create a different set of items that you do have in stock and make that a box set and then put that on your homepage, right? So maybe if you don't have an LP, maybe you do 2 shirts, a hoodie, and a CD, or you do 2 shirts, a CD, and a sticker or a patch or something else or a poster, right? I know he sells posters, so and a poster. And see if you can kind of finagle and mix and match different things so that you don't have a sold out. At least have one available that's available. You can keep these 2 other that are sold out here because you can be like, look, hey, these box sets sell out quick, so get yours now. But you can't even get these because it's sold out. And so even this one, sold out. I like that it's here. But at least put something. Yeah, he does have 2 that are available here, so that's good. So this is what I'm talking about. Yeah, one is sold out, but he still has other options that are available. That if you can't get this because it's sold out, you can get something else that's related. Okay. So
Not the best store.
not the best store.
Great artists, great.
Great artist, great following, sells a lot of stuff at his concerts. This I understand. This is not his
Bread and butter.
full bread and butter,
Additional revenue.
but this is still an additional revenue stream, as noted, as he made $15 million at Coachella. And so I understand his main focus is not online sales. I understand his main focus is going to be selling merch at the event venue that he's at. I understand that, right? So,
Why not capitalize?
but still, why not capitalize on the people that can't be there or can't get on his tour or can't, or just fans that just want to buy something? Why not put a little more effort into his online store, merch store? It's not like he can't. It's not like he doesn't have professionals that are running this that can't do it. And so I just wish you would put a little more effort into it. Just a couple hours, he could have a completely different setup, right, and different things. But again, I don't know the inner workings of his background and how everything is inventoried and whatnot, so I can't speak on that. But his online store, don't copy it if you have an online store. There are other great online stores to kind of mimic. Again, don't copy it. Don't copy anything anyway. But there are a couple online stores that can give you good inspiration and good little tidbits here and there that you can think about incorporating into your own store. And so, last one I did this for fun. I kind of rated it like a Dave Portnoy's pizza review. I think I gave Coachella's one a 9, 6, 7, or 8. I think if I gave Coachella that, I'd have to give this honestly like a 4.8 or something. I mean, just because I look at overall things, right? For his concert merch that he sells, he gets a high mark for that, right? Because he did awesome. He did great. But for him being able to carry that momentum onto his online store, he misses the mark in terms of capitalizing what his online store could, how much revenue it could generate, in my opinion. But even in his defense, even if he did add all the little nuances that I talked about, I don't think it would really make much of a difference. The only difference it would make is in terms of returns, I think. Because someone, especially with the sizing, manufacturers, right? The large on a Gildan is different than a large on a Bell and Canvas. And so if you're running Bell and Canvas, you have to put the sizing on there because you're usually running a little smaller. And so if someone orders a large thinking it's going to be the same specs as a Gildan or a Jersey or a Hanes, they're going to find it's more of a retail fit and it's going to be smaller and tighter and they may not like it. And so that's why you want to put sizing. And even if you do put sizing, that doesn't always, prohibit any returns, right? People still order the wrong size all the time. But again, why not try and minimize the amount of returns, the amount of negative interactions you're going to have with your clients or with your customers or with your fans, right? In Justin Bieber's case. So that's what I would rate it as an overall. Again, I look at it from a 30,000 foot view. That's what I would kind of rate it overall in terms of, everything combined, right? And even the little discrepancies on his return policy. One thing says 45 days, one thing says 30 days. And so it's just those little discrepancies there that could cost you sometimes, right? And so, because what if for you and your retail or your online store, what if you have that, someone's at 35 days and you say, well, we only have a 30-day policy. Well, they say, well, no, on your website, I can click on it right here. It shows that it says 45 days. And so in that case, what I would do if I were you, I would just honor it, right? And I would make sure that whoever's running your website changes that. But, it's not worth upsetting an existing client or existing customer, existing fan, especially a super fan, over a 15-day discrepancy in your return policy because you messed up on your website. And so
That's what I would give it. That's my merch.
that's what I would give it. That's my merch shop audit for this.
Great.
Justin
I
Bieber.
understand this is not
Great. I understand this is not
his main focus.
his main focus. It's merch at the concert venues, but I would still wish that he would carry that momentum onto his online store. So thanks again for watching. Be sure to subscribe to your to our channel. If you have any online shop audits that you want me to do, let me know. Send me an email or comment down below. I'd love to do it. I mean, we have so many more in the pipeline, but I just wanted to do Justin Bieber since he just came off of Coachella, his Coachella appearance, and we know that he generated that much money in the merch. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.